just wearing a hat.
Weird turtle.
Welcome to the Dice for Good Bad Storytellers. My name is Jacob Schallenkamp, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Maddie, playing Kubo, Matt playing Kyle, and Josh playing Leo. And we are back into the world of Remalin, the 1920s to 30s-esque mixed fantasy world where the Prohibition has just ended. And there are all sorts of crazy things all over the place. We are back in Remalin. What happened last time was a brother killing a brother quickly met with retribution, a great cave collapsing in as an army was stampeding outside, and the divine courts went out of session and had a recess for the first time in who knows how long. And what that means is very unclear for the party as well as the world right now. But I want to give kind of a quick snapshot of where everyone is. Kubo, their body is very messy and kind of ruined after being killed, but it was dragged out of the mountain. And his soul
was carried very respectfully by my robot.
Oh, yeah, I got carried respectfully by the robot. His family ring glistening on his hand, and his soul, after going up to heaven and negotiating with Jophiel, was cast out of there. Kyle, using his lineage to negotiate a kind of uneasy armistice, ran to the forces of the Valshaline army and negotiated a position of power for himself, at least temporarily, to try and find ways to interrupt this court proceeding. Leo was able to use his divine magic, use his abilities as a summoner to attend the court hearing as well. And all of us are in these different snapshots. Kubo falling out of the sky, Kyle and Leo standing off on a sunny bluff, a dusty bluff, where this incredible explosion and destruction of this mountain has caused thousands of casualties. And we are here, and what I want to impress upon everyone before we roll to kind of start the next vignette here is I want everyone to picture a rubber ball. Picture a tight rubber ball, and for the entirety of this campaign and kind of for the history of Remalin, this ball has been crunched tight. It has been in a vice. It is squashed. The top and the bottom are closer together than they should be. And the events of last session has released that tension, and we are back to a natural rubber ball. Without further ado, I'm going to roll to see who we start with. 1, 2 will be Kubo. 3, 4 will be Kyle. 5, 6 will be Leo. That is a 2. So, wind. You knew this, intellectually, but you didn't know it kind of literally at the time. But falling for such an extreme amount of time and moving with so much velocity hurts. It kind of whips at your skin and like biting cold and chafes, and you can't keep moisture in your mouth. And it's one of these things where you're falling for a long time, and it's a longer time, and it's a longer time, and you're just tumbling over yourself. And there's this incredible momentum as you've been cast out of heaven and have entered into the material plane. And you are a streaking red comet across the sky. What's going through Kubo's mind as this, you've been successful and you've been cast out of heaven?
I think that he has a lot of weird feelings. I think one of the first being, when he was a kid, I'm sure he and his siblings would always kind of bug their dad to be like, so like, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? And it fucking hurts, but at the same time, it's really weird because he had only been an angel for like maybe 24 hours, maybe not. I actually don't know how long that was, just about. And he's already being pushed back out. So he's gone from his body to not his body to being a spirit again that's now growing like its own. And I think he is very much like just kind of focusing on that. But I will say as we end, I think kind of with the rubber ball analogy, I think that because he has like this new being, I guess a different planar creature kind of now. I think he can kind of see like the edges of the world as it starts to like the orb goes back in place, so to speak. See might not be the right word, but like he sees it as he falls, and I think it's he's just kind of caught in this constant state of like.
Yeah, I want to make some of that more specific because I love that. You now have eyes on your chest, like your father did. You kind of this eldritch horror.
I also have eyes like boop boop, right? And
yeah,
like
yeah, you're an angel.
So I can see a lot.
Your brain is not accustomed to that, and so it's kind of like you have a third eye that's letting you see another dimension, and your brain isn't accustomed to doing that knowledge. So it's a very disorienting tumble.
Yeah. To say the least. Yeah, it's just a tumble.
As you're falling, I think that's a great insight that, like, yeah, the rubber ball expanding, there's this intense feeling of vertigo. Because I think if you were falling during a time where everything was normal and everything was fine, it'd be like the straight experience of like, oh, I can see mountains and rivers and land and ocean just zooming past me. But there's kind of this like lensing effect of the space between heaven and earth becoming more distance. And as you're traveling incredibly fast, the space is also traveling. And so you feel like you're falling even faster, and it's very disorienting. This goes on for an obnoxiously long amount of time that we don't need to dwell on. Eventually, you are considering soaring past everything. I want you to roll me a perception check.
Hey, yo!
Going to be our first roll back into this.
With all those eyes.
You see yourself passing, yes, all those eyes, passing ocean and city, and then you go over a city. You're just going so fast you don't know which, place that.
I'm gonna give it to myself and say that's fair, because holy shit.
And then
they touchdown.
Touchdown. You are completely unconscious. An undetermined amount of time passes, and when you wake up, you sense powder blue. You sense just powder blue and liquid, and things are disorienting and strange.
Okay, I love this. So I think, yeah, so Kubo kind of wakes up, and like you're saying, we took this idea, just so everyone knows, when we were in Iceland, but there's like something called the Blue Lagoon, and the water is like this unnatural, weird blue-white color. Anyways, I was like,
what she described.
Blood puddle, I don't know. And I really think that's what it is. Like Kubo kind of comes back to himself, and he's been, I guess, like, he's like, oh shit. Like, because he's just been like soaking in this like maybe 3 inches of water, not enough to like he would choke, but like, kind of like, oh my god. And as he like kind of looks around and tries to use bearings, I don't think. Well, can I roll for this? Where is he? I don't know.
Yeah, roll me a nature check. That's a great check.
Yeah.
The first things you get, it is very rural. There's not like a road nearby.
19.
This is hick country. This is like in the middle of nowhere.
Just in time, King of the Hill.
I will say with the 19, you do see that there is a fence nearby. Like there is people that live in this area, but it's like a distant fence. You can't see any roads. Like this is kind of like a fence dividing property in the middle of nowhere. Just like a barbed wire, quick hatchet, like a very simple fence.
I think the first things that would happen is that Kubo would first kind of like, like when you have like a really good nap and you wake up and you kind of just don't feel connected to your body. I think that's like a lot of it. He's like trying to shuffle, and then he's like, oh fuck, because he actually like pokes one of his eyes, and he's like, oh sorry, wait. Because he hasn't actually seen himself yet, and maybe he can kind of see himself on the surface of the water. He's like, oh, as he suddenly is forced to kind of like brain catching up. Yeah, but with everything in terms of like, what happened with Jophiel? Oh God, Jophiel's being. Is she caught? Is she being punished already? Is she tormented? Oh God, the Earth! Oh God, like it's just kind of all buffering, and he's probably just like, oh, I gotta find. And Dad.
You stumble out of the blood pool. This is kind of your time. I'm gonna look at my stuff to make sure I'm making,
I have to say, honestly, Kubo was a little bit proud. Loki, he's like, oh, so I have a blood pool. Oh, nice. I think he would drink some of the water just to taste it, and I can roll for that.
But did you do this at the blood pool before?
No, I didn't. What does my blood
It's
pool taste like?
blood. I mean, it's
It's
your
salty?
blood.
Like,
yeah,
what does it
like,
taste like? I've never done this before.
it's angelic ichor. I guess it's
Is it
like,
spicy?
I guess it
Yeah,
tastes like
it's spicy.
super blood. It's just like really dense, irony.
Mm,
Like blood with a really, really high red cell count.
I'm just thinking of spicy blood.
Very, very irony. Yeah. Very, yeah.
Oh, it's a little
Like,
As you can see, like as you walk out, you realize you still have gaping wounds like your father did from falling, and it is your blood from the blood pool.
well, like, do I need to roll for this? Can I get a sense of like how bad are my wounds still? Like, should I try to heal
yeah,
myself?
roll. You can attempt to heal yourself. Roll like a nature check or a.
I want to do
medicine
insight
check.
on myself.
Insight.
Yeah, dirty sweat.
Dirty 20. You saw your father bleed your entire adult life, 20 plus years, and he seemed fine. So
I'm gonna do something kind of crazy too, along with what you're saying. Sorry, but I think Kubo like tries to look at some of his extra eyes, and he's like, "Do you know anything about?" And it's like this weird. It's like, no.
your own eyes reflect your own confusing question.
Oh, I think it's a little bit, and it's cool. And he's like, "I'm just actually okay." I think that there's like another kind of like space of a couple moments where like he kind of realizes he's like, okay, Dad used to like make himself look normal, because he has like these wings and he's trying to like, I don't want to, no more.
No more.
Actually smacks an eye and he's like, oh fuck. And then time passes, he figures it out, and he's able to kind of shake back into what he assumes and hopes is like how at least he feels he should look or used to look.
Yeah.
He's still shirtless, but there are no eyes. So he's like, okay.
I will make you roll for that. I think that's something that we can assume is pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Okay, so you want me to roll or no?
No, you're
Oh,
okay.
okay.
You're okay. I'm gonna say that that's something you could accomplish pretty directly.
Then I think next task is simply honestly, I think he kind of goes back to like, if I had wings, I probably could like get out of here faster, but
You want to walk and
I want to be
get your
normal and figure this out. Yeah, so that's what
Okay.
he's doing now. If it's okay, since the water around the pool, there was like maybe a lot of moss. Like, is there enough moss to get me somewhere so that my feet don't hurt? Or
Oh my god, moss shoes, moss sandals.
can I just tie
Moss
like
sandals.
moss around my feet?
Only is there a crafting check?
No,
mean,
I don't know. Tell me
Twigs
what
and
you-
moss.
It would probably just be a flat int or a flat dex unless you had some kind of tool related to it, like leatherworking.
I like that. A
I
flat
like it, I like
intelligence
it.
check.
It's just a 9.
I think with the 9, as you begin to attempt to do this, you realize it's really hard. You don't have anything, like it's just
Okay,
like
okay.
moss.
Okay, so and then he's like, I'm wasting Jofiel's time. Okay.
Let's say, as you say Jophiel, you look about and you see that it looks like Jophiel has cast you down with things. You see that there is a tight like black short that's just is like kind of like Hulk short.
And
It's
he's
like
like,
for
oh, I'm
decency.
naked everywhere. I forgot about that. This is never mind.
And you see that there's a nice, like, beautiful, angelic looking blade that's just into the ground next to the blood pool.
Kubo goes ahead, picks it up. I think he's excited when he touches it. He's like, ooh, it's a scimitar. And then he remembers that he lost everybody back in Remalin, and he's like,
You're so.
oh, fuck. Listen, he just fell from heaven. I don't think this is all going to be dramatic. I think he's buffering.
Yeah, it all comes back kind of backwards and forwards and upwards and back. You know,
Did
there's
she drop shoes?
she did not.
That's fine.
She did
Okay.
not.
And then with that being said, I take the sword and I'm just gonna kind of like hack and slash my way through some of like, what is it, wheat, corn, like.
This, yeah, it's very just like, it's not farmland. It's like wooded, middle of nowhere plain. So it's like weed grass.
Okay.
Okay. But would you follow the fence, or would you just pick a direction antithetical to that?
I think one of the things that Kubo realizes for a moment while he's on his own devices, and he saw in the images that his markings, like he still has his stuff, but they've changed, and he doesn't feel the same connection to his dad as he had once before. And he's like, interesting, because he still senses he has power now, and he's like, so I think for old time's sake, he's like, okay, if I'm really doing this for me, I'm into my own. I wonder if I can like call on some sort of direction, and I'm gonna try to use Divine sense, and that typically works for good or evil. But if I use a divine sense and try just a D20 luck check, I see if something pings at me as being good or bad for me nearby towards to head towards?
I won't say no, but I will also say that as you were thinking about this kind of complex way to do this, you can fly. And you could just get a visual of like a top down.
I take that as that's just Jophia. Like if she could do anything, it's just like you bitch. Just please. Okay.
Sorry,
No, it's fine.
I don't want to
I
say and
think-
give you a no, but I mean you can.
I think that I'm still gonna do the
N-O.
that makes me feel better, and by me, I think it would make Kubo feel better because it's a little bit normal as I think before, and I think he will just be like, oh, fucking screw it, and he'll his wings out. And he's just gonna try to like fly around again and figure stuff out.
You fly up, you do see that maybe about a good chunk of a way. Like it'll take you, a couple minutes to fly there even. There's a long winding road that goes to the countryside, and there is the fantasy equivalent of an RV park, which I guess at this situation, it's not an RV park, it's just a single carriage, and it's kind of like a caravan that is parked alongside this like road, and you see that there's like a little pseudo pond made out in front of it, and there's kind of like underwear on a line.
But good time. Yeah, I'm gonna land a little bit far away, and I'm going to have to, while I'm walking up, put some wings away, tell myself internally, like, okay, I know I look like a naked man just out of nowhere, but we have to, confidence is what's key, Kubo. Just acting like I belong here. They will not treat me like a freak who will kill them. It's going to be okay. And he's like telling himself that as he walks.
Great. You come down. I'm gonna roll some perception checks here.
I'm just picturing the start of like was it Terminator 3 the give me your clothes.
They gifted him clothes?
Now.
Desperately, yeah. He's just very
I
desperately.
thought he stole it.
Wait, that energy of like.
No, he jacked them from John Lovitz, which is inherently just funny as hell because him fitting into the same thing as John Lovitz work. But yeah,
I thought he robbed a clothing store.
no,
Don't remember.
He robbed a stripper on like
He robbed the car though, right?
guys' night.
Well, I don't want to rob a stripper. But
I don't remember the other stuff, but I'm pretty sure John Lovitz was there on like ladies' nights doing a fucking stripper routine, and he's like, "Give me your clothes." And he's like, "You gotta wait for the show. Talk to the hand now."
So it's funny you mentioned that. As you're walking up to this, still, I want you to roll me a history check.
Okay.
And you recognize this person. There's a man that's shirtless.
I don't
that's
recognize
putting
this
clothes up.
person
Three.
actually. Yeah, that actually really fits. given everything I'm
You
going
see
through.
this guy who has like a foggy familiarity to you. He's like hanging clothes up, and he sees you, and you see a look of actually I'm gonna check a look of kind of shocked recognition, but he doesn't like actually put a name to the face. He goes, "Hey, howdy, partner. What are you doing out in these parts? Howdy."
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm so sorry. I don't recognize you, sir.
As you're saying that, this is kind of a comedic side thing. The door to the carriage swings open, and you do recognize this person immediately. You see Senator Glorin look out from the carriage.
Oh.
And he goes, "Oh, oh my goodness."
Kubo's already like red in the skin color, but I think if he weren't, he would be blushing even more right now. I think he's just like, "Oh, Senator Glorin, you guys, this is so crazy. I was mugged and
as you're talking to this, you recognize that the guy who's in front is Bartleby. Let me see, Bartleby Brewer, who is the sex worker that you guys originally freed out of the prison from forever ago. Who said he's just going to disappear and you're never going to have to see him again.
Okay, well the good news is I gotta fix
He
him.
fucking lied.
Wow, Bartleby, Glorin, wow, this is incredible.
As you say his name, Senator Glorin looks to you like,
It's important to remember that the whatever the hell he did was so weird. He nor the DM would actually say it.
I don't remember.
It's weird.
Kubo and Maddie both don't know what's happening, but we're just gonna try to keep going. Mugged. Can you believe it? I'm really sorry. Could I get like a phone, maybe like an extra shirt and pants and shoes would be lovely.
it looks like you see this look between Senator Glorin and Bartleby that's like, both of them don't know whose fault this is, and they assume that this could not be a mistake.
Or you could direct me, like I just saw a sign from up on a hill or something over here. I'm just saying, is there like a map? Where the fuck am I? Not to be terse.
Bartleby goes, well, we're pretty close to Terran's bounty here, so I'm just gonna give you some clothes, and we're gonna send you on your way.
I appreciate that, guys. Oh, sorry.
And you're good. You're good, partner. I'm so sorry you bumped your head, and you forgot who you are and who we are and where we're at. So,
don't worry, I'm picking up on that. Don't worry. Please. Do you guys have well, actually, does Kubo feel hungry or thirsty? Do I need to roll?
You roll a Constitution save just for flavor.
Spicy.
Oh my God, I'm starving. Apparently.
You feel extremely hungry, and you feel like your body feels as if it has not eaten for about a week.
Okay.
But normally that would be, holy shit, I'm dying. And with this new body, it's more of a nuisance. You could probably not eat ever again. It just feels uncomfortable.
My car alert showed up for an oil change.
Yeah, it is not a pressing concern. It is only uncomfortable.
No, actually, again, you kind strangers I don't know, can I get some clothes and you guys have just a sandwich, some water? I feel like shit. But I have this cool sword, that's good.
So they just do their best to get you out of there as fast as humanly possible. They give you a bowl of corn grits.
It was corn grits? I mean, thanks. Yeah, exactly. I think that Kubo takes a couple bites of the corn grits, and he actually doesn't like corn grits. So he's like, this was nice. I'm just going to take you
They give you clothes, they give you some sandals, and then they give you a wife beater shirt. That's
well,
the
if
only
picture. I get outfit.
When you're this is not enough, they give you a larger jacket, but it is still the wife beater.
That's fine. I just look like
Flannel.
wife beater.
Flannel, a wife beater and a flannel shirt.
Oh, a flannel would be adorable, actually.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want to channel the Jotaro.
They give you directions, and they're like, well, if you travel for about 5 days, that way you'll get back to Sheen City.
And to be clear, they did give me pants, some sandals, and whatever. You can call it a white beater, but I have the
you have a jacket.
The Jotaro coat. Okay.
Sure.
It's the Jotaro.
Yeah, it's the Jotaro coat. Okay. And they point you toward Sheen City, and I was going to say Terran's Bounty is about a day back the other direction. And of Terran's Bounty, it's basically the backwoods. It's
so I'm close to where my dad is, though, right? Because weren't they out past Sheen?
So yes, actually, you're close-ish. You're kind of on the same side as where Dorothy's country house would be, but it's still a journey. You'd have to get a cart and get there.
So what I'm hearing you say, DM, and everyone else, because I'm trying to be also mindful of time, is that heading towards Sheen City, Kubo would know that oh, I want to get there. That's where Dinah is. That's where Dace is. Holy fuck, maybe if I get there, I could find some way to communicate with Leo. Oh God, I hope that Leo actually told Kyle what happened. Anyways, and why we made that deal. And then he thinks back to the fact that, oh, I can stop by Peregrine's on the way, because I would have to. He's like, oh, this is great. He just gets kind of a mischievous smile. He's like, oh, fabulous. Okay, thanks, guys. He walks a little bit in front of them. He just gets his wings and he just books it with his wings flying towards Peregrine's house.
A scene you don't see is as soon as you're gone, they go, "You lying piece of shit! You told me we were safe because I didn't tell nobody, sir."
God, so
and
funny.
they,
And then guns in the distance.
I like that that's what this sets them off. None of them comment on the fact that I literally just in front of them get wings and fly away.
You're some weird fucking angel
Monster,
mafia.
It's yeah, that's what he does.
That's his thing. That's all he does.
Just grows wings.
I want to. I think everybody's vignettes are going to be about 30 to 40 minutes.
You can jump around if you want.
But yeah, we'll do some jumping around.
I'm fine with that. I doesn't just have to be.
I'll find whatever. That was entertaining. That's funny though.
I was thinking for a long time, how do we?
I don't mind sitting in the peanut gallery making jokes. So that's
Yeah.
No,
I love this telenovela.
It will look like
You can
this.
send it.
It's from Pinterest, but this picture of Jotaro gave me inspiration for Kubo's new fit this season. however he ends up getting to it, of course.
Is he doing a pose?
We're going to cycle through as we know that this is about 2 weeks or a week and a half after the big explosion. Kubo was lying in that blood pool for about a week, just kind of coming back to consciousness.
Marinating.
Healing, as the kids would say.
1, 2 will be Kyle.
But marinating is absorbing the juice. He was clearly leaking it. It's the opposite of that.
The skin though, moisturize the skin and
it's
and
a bit of both. It's a bit of both, Matt. It's
water is really bad. Water will dry your skin out. Come on now.
not if you're submerged.
It's not water, it's blood. It's my blood specifically. Have you heard of
Yeah, that
vampire?
hemoglobin, that it's thick,
It's the same
thicker
thing
than
the
blood.
Kardashians do. It's totally fine. You can Google
You know,
it.
like air for me. Yeah.
Okay,
I am so excited. Also, we're talking about vampires and JoJo. Oh no.
So we
I just mentioned werewolves.
So we are in a situation where normally there would be 2 different vignettes, but because you guys are in the same place, what I'm going to do is we're going to start the vignette with basically a focus on one person, and you guys can kind of work together to decide on how this proceeds. But the focus is going to be mostly on the person that was rolled for. So Kyle and Josh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a 3, so that is Leo. So back a week and a half, you guys are on this bluff. The amount of human suffering in this place is immense. Lots of death. The war is still going on. There's been a small transition to humanitarian effort. And the death of Lord Valshaline has really mucked up a lot of stuff. Leo, you're standing on this bluff. You've just seen the court go out of session. And there's very much the sensation of we're all relatively centrist, or at least don't like Trump. But like when Trump was elected, then the day after, everyone walked out of their house. It was just very like, oh God, this is still where we're at. Like this is still, but like nothing had actually changed yet. That is very much the feeling right now. It's like something huge, dramatic has happened that has changed the structure of a lot of things. But right now, nothing is different. And nobody knows that anything is different besides you and a handful of other people. What is going through Leo's mind as, you know, you kind of come to this realization there's no other target to do, your mission is done, there's nothing really to do here.
Am I like, do I have like a room, or was I like completely in this court?
I picture you guys in like war yurts, and so you guys have your own
Like closet rooms?
Yeah, like you guys have a distant kind of like tent outside of the.
Oh, a tent. Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it a private tent? I get my own tent.
Yeah.
I think that's something that Kyle would have been able to swing for you, and/or.
I was gonna say.
For some reason, I thought you were in the rebel camp or whatever. But if you're in this one, yeah, you'd have something big and fancy.
Okay, say less. So at the rise of dawn, as I do, because I'm an early bird, I shall emerge from my tent, with a new appearance. There shall be no more white hood, from my royal everything. And now you shall see black and red energy representing a hood floating around me as it's smoking, phasing, and moving as breeze. And coming forth behind me are 3 little puppies with the same thing around their necks as we're all matching. And I head towards Kyle.
Okay. You fully embraced, I guess, a demonic appearance. You come out, you've got this. I think that a lot of people.
It's down.
It's down. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like a scarf basically right now as it just flows behind me.
Okay, cool.
And the dogs all have scarves too.
Yeah, they all have them too. Oh yes, the dogs don't have hoods at all. I just have a unique hood.
No, I gotcha. As you are walking toward, where Kyle is at, you receive a sending message. I'm going to do my best. I wrote out some of this, but I think it's better if I actually just do it. You immediately recognize that this is from your mother. This is Iala Dorn. And it basically just says, good job. Excited to see you when you're back in Sheen City. We have a lot to talk about. The world is different now for us. And you get this message, you know it's from your mother. One of the things that made you so certain that your mother was actually injured and actually fighting for her life was that you didn't receive any sendings from her at all the entirety of the time that she was ill.
You can respond back to sending, right?
Yeah, you can.
Ooh.
Ooh.
25 word limit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was exactly 25. I counted. I was like,
With his hands.
yeah, this was very. Oh wait, numbers. Unexpected. Happy to hear. I'm looking forward to.
Cute.
Okay. Why not?
Hey, you send
I
that
think that's
back.
exactly 25. Yes.
Send that back. As you're walking around, this is nothing in this area will be okay for several months. And so like you walking out in this get up and everything, there is just death and screaming and people not looking at you screaming, but there's still a lot of suffering in this place. You walk along and you're trying to find Kyle, is that right?
Yes,
There
I will
should-
head
there
to.
There should be active like recovery efforts going though. That's what I said. That's what I set the infantry to get.
Yes, no, there are active recovery. What you do know too, Leo, is that the Odina and Adlaria and Fluellen and all of that party were ahead of you guys by about 4 days. And so they should be back at Courage. And they don't necessarily have directions to wait for you guys or not, but they should be back at Courage around now.
You do remember that I sent out messengers for them last
From us.
week.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So they have incoming messages going for
I miss Purge.
them. Yeah. So you walk around. I guess roll me an investigation check to try and find where Kyle's at.
Or use your sending stone and ask.
Oh, I still have. Kyle.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jacob, but like.
Oh, it's,
Kyle.
great. Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm going to your tent. I'm going to your tent, Kyle. I hope you are well dressed. I am heading towards you.
Bitch,
Are-
I'm
are-
always fabulous.
Are you in your tent
Yeah, the big one with all the extra flags.
with the soldiers and guards in front?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. May I enter? Hello, Kyle. Can you tell him to let me in? Kyle. I know Kyle.
If I don't say anything, take over. Yeah. How do the guards respond?
I think they just look to one another. You've got a retinue of dogs. I don't think they have any reason to stop you. I think they open the cloth, entrance.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, sir. And let my pups through. They go first because they just skip in. Okay. Kyle, I've just received word. My mother was just to see me. Is there any urgent business you have going on that you need assistance?
Nothing that requires your aid at the moment. We're currently involved in humanitarian recovery efforts from the core of the mountain.
Okay. How far is my mom from our camp?
your mother's back in Sheen City.
Sheen City.
Oh,
so-
she's which was like
A month,
a month by boat, and at least a couple days to Purged, or maybe there might be a river or something nearby that we can get out there faster, shaving a day or two, but not. I mean, generally that's.
I want to give you guys two offers here. One, because you guys are figuring all this out. Leo, I'm gonna make this be Leo's, and there's gonna be another insight that I'll do on Kyle's kind of bit here. Leo, give me a religion check. Just give me a religion check, and I want you to roll this with advantage. And this is just kind of an insight I want to give to you. This is going to be a lore dump that is specifically pertaining to you.
Wait, didn't you tell me to roll an intelligence check before? I totally forgot.
She rolled an intelligence.
No,
For me.
or for the craft, but
Oh, okay. Why do I feel like you asked me before to roll something and I completely...
If you want to make moss shoes, you can. Like, I'm not gonna.
Oh,
Oh,
I
no.
would say like roll for investigation, but it was just kind of a waste of time because you.
Oh, investigation. That's what it was. Okay, my bad. No, I didn't want to feel like I ignored you. Okay.
Okay.
So what did you want me to roll now?
Religion.
investigation.
Oh, this is a religion check.
Religion.
Oh,
okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Dang cow.
Now you're,
Misinformation.
now you're all just screwing me up.
Gaslighting me.
You guys are
Oh, it's actually poo poo. Nothing? Oh, 17.
17. Okay. The whole kind of everything is different now, which we've established. But of all the people in the world that understand this whole rubber ball squishing and expanding metaphor, it makes more sense to you. And one thing that, how can I say this without like giving up the whole thing? The mages in Remalin did some incredible feats of magic. They sent people to other planes. They did all these incredible magical feats many centuries ago. And no one has sense. And that has been basically ever since the Helioic faith has been standardized, since Helios became the, it all means it was the one true God, the person in charge of all of heaven, and also delineating what's the difference between hell, and hell and everything. And there has been, you went to college, there has been a lot of discourse and a lot of magical frustration over there being some reason modern magicians aren't able to replicate those same works of magic. There's been this strange glass ceiling basically of for some reason we can't figure out teleportation, we can't figure out plane shift, and we have these records, we have these histories of these things happening. And as you're thinking about this, and you can kind of feel it in your own brain, a lot of people are starting to you first off, because you know that something has changed, but you realize more people are going to start experiencing this. Now that court's out of session, the same rules don't apply. And clearly there was something that Helios was doing that was stopping those in the material realm from having access to magic that could get them to heaven outside of death. There was something in the way from magic developing to a point where it could threaten heaven, period. And now that court's out of session, now that this, little weird agreement is off, you can do that. People can do that. And people in Iagran might not figure it out for a long time because they're not developing magic very well. But Sheen City, off the top of your head, 12 different professors that did nothing but complain about how frustratingly elusive these seemingly simple magics were.
You're gonna figure it out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I could start my own school. Ooh.
I have mixed feelings on calling plane shift and teleport simple magics. But
I was like, what?
Yeah, no. But I mean, that's the thing. Is
the seventh level spells. Fuck it.
College goer, Yeah.
I wish I had that.
That's a great insight too. Even though people at Sheen City are actively trying to break this stuff, it still might take some of the best magicians in Sheen City a couple months to realize oh, I can think of the thing I need to think of, but they're going to start doing it. And wizards are going to start hitting this 12th, 13th, 14th level position where they can do some of this crazy stuff.
Damn. I wish I wish I had teleportation. That's all I can say.
No, yeah. So I want to give you that. Now you guys are kind of in the same space. I want to make sure that I give you the time you want, Leo. Do you guys want to kind of merge scenes here?
Well, Cal doesn't want me, so I guess I'll leave.
Let's say that I don't have anything specifically for you to do.
Dang, but you don't need my assistants. You need my pups. They're very nice and therapeutic. They're cute.
What have you learned about what happened with the court or whatever?
I thought I informed you with this.
No, you didn't. I know nothing. God damn it!
I was like, I've been with you for a whole week.
I tried to find someone in the army that could astral project me there, but could not.
Oh my god!
There are a couple of guards that are like getting uncomfortable.
You have been keeping Kyle, the utterly information obsessed person in the dark. He's not happy.
I thought because I was with you for a week that
you don't keep saying you're from Batman. That pisses him off.
So I was there, and then Kuba was physically thrown in there. We try to disengage Jophiel in preceding this voting, and then we all left, I believe. And then she said, then she removed Kubo entirely. And then that would be like the little skips. And now we're here, and I take a shot.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just gonna let this continue, and I'm just gonna listen in.
Can I give Leo to have his character remember some important stuff? It's okay if you don't. I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
Oh no, I'm just doing skips. Like I'm just saying, we were thrown here, and then this happened.
Oh my god! Can I cast detect thoughts? I'm just gonna fucking.
Not to be mean, Leo, but last time this isn't mean at all, but it was so funny when we ended last time. I was like, oh my god, like Leo hasn't said anything to Kyle yet. Leo hasn't said anything.
Kyle's been in a goddamn. There's a reason, I was on a goddamn rampage.
Oh my god, and I just was like thinking to myself, like, so cool.
Nobody told me anything.
I was over here like, oh my god, I'm so glad Leo's gonna inform Kyle.
I thought we did. I thought we did out of character.
When things are happening off screen and it's not like intended to be a vignette-y kind of session, I as a person tune out because my character's not supposed to know it.
Oh.
I don't even literally fucking know the actual answers.
I was like, oh, a week of.
Well, I mean,
so yes.
If it helps, if you'd like to text your thoughts, do you think that Leo would remember the fact that Leo helped Kubo convince Jophiel to pause the vote, and it wasn't about Peregrine. It was about the fact that Jophiel was the one who was like, there was a time when people could do magic and all these things without Helio hoarding it all for himself. And basically, when you encouraged her, she remembered Priscilla and her love for Priscilla and was like, yeah, I'd rather be a goddess again and get to hang out with Priscilla or whoever I want than work for Helios. And he's like, whatever the word is. He's like, damn it. He's just boring
selfish?
and he's selfish. Thank you. Yeah. And so then, she ended the call because.
What's the nice word for selfish? Independent. Yes, thank you. Sorry, go.
Because then she ended the call because Helios got mad and he was going to try to kill us for helping her decide to pause the vote.
Yes, because he literally studies as a hobby. This man loves to read.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Leo would remember everything entirely.
Oh my god.
Will not remember everything entirely.
That's okay, by the way.
This is don't play a character smarter than you. I mean, what?
Hey, but the character smarter than me knows everything.
That's why players, all of us here are together. I was happy that I could help. Kyle knows what's up, and you guys.
I feel like it's hard to play a character who's dumber than you, because then you know everything, but then you have to not know everything.
There's some aspect of that, which is why I generally play a character that's at least.
I don't know, that's hard. It's like fighting a fire monster.
I've tried to play a dumbass character. I can't do it. It's hard.
I remember there were some times with
Green.
Remind yourself.
Yeah, where you were
to be fair, he had almost as high.
I feel like he started.
Kyle. To be fair, he had a high int score.
And it was a lot of sailing associated.
It's usually that specific. I usually try, but yeah, there were a few moments where he was way more rational than he should have been.
Oh, I miss Green, my fish bro.
I know, me too.
So as you guys are yelling, the guards are like, and you see that Bee, who's just been here, has like the scythe on her back.
Oh, yeah, where's Bee?
She's
Is Bee just been with me?
Yeah, she's just kind of been hanging around.
Oh, she's here?
All right.
Get back to
All right.
City, right?
Spilling top secret info.
So yeah. So she's kind of like, whenever anything comes up and there's like a break in the thing, she's like, it might make a lot more sense to get back to Sheen City, you guys, because I mean,
damn, so we have to go to Sheen City. How far is the port from here?
Well, Purge is like
a week.
4 days.
Oh, 4 days, and then we have to take a month of boat.
It's like 2, but that was us walking. Like with a mount, we'd probably be there in a day.
But are we bringing guards, or are we just to be you and I?
Well, that's I'm gonna have to deal with the generals before I leave, one way or another.
Okay, that gives me time to pack and prep.
I don't know. I mean, what do we need to go back to Sheen City? There's a lot of good I can do here. I mean, with everything my father did being undone, there's a lot of opportunity. Purge could end up becoming a beach resort for all we know. I mean, things are changing.
Well, if anything, how far can your sending stones work? Is it like unlimited? Oh, okay. So I think it's best if we split up then, and I go to Sheen City, and you do your best here. And if you need me, I can travel 1,600 feet per minute. So
I may be able to. I'll follow you as soon as I can, if I can. But as things stand now, I think I can do more good here.
All right. Then I finish my drink, and I shall pour a glass for Kyle.
I didn't offer you a drink.
Well, too bad I brought my own. And
a liquor cabinet that's like clearly one of the generals, and Kubo and excuse me, Leo just uninvited just opens it, takes out like the nicest stuff.
Of course. Oh yeah, of course, the nicest stuff. And I shall walk about. You see a pup just like lick you in the face as it just flies up to you. And I open the tent door, and my scarves spike up, and I fly away.
So what are you wanting to say, Kyle?
No, yeah. I was gonna tell him to burn Kubo's body. Like we need to like get if there's some. Yes, I gave it to you. You were supposed to start trying to reincarnate it. Remember?
He's in the corner holding the dead body, like
no,
it's like starting to really.
I thought we lost Kubo. I was like, oh, Kubo's gone.
No.
Okay.
Clearly, the spirit is inhabiting a new vessel, but the old one needs to be destroyed. I mean, like witchcraft, you have the person's blood. It's problematic. Burn it.
Okay,
like,
so
full honor is like a burial pyre, but
I'm gonna simplify a lot of stuff. Let's just take us away.
I could burn
I could burn my body. Oh my god!
So
do you want me to reanimate it? Do you want me to bury it? What do you want me to do?
No, I just realized that.
Monumented. Stuff it.
Please let me take this burden from us. You take the ring that was for Kubo's family and the coin that had been given to him by his father. Those are the two things you take. The rest of Kubo's body is burned. You can take the swords if you want, or Kyle, you can remove the enchantment from them there because I know that those are still useful. He's got the really good armor.
The infusion is automatically canceled. As far as the armor goes, I don't know. I mean,
has a legendary resistance built in. It's pretty strong.
I know, right? It's one of those things where, like, you know, but this was like my dead friend. But they're not actually dead. Like, how the fuck do I fucking acknowledge them?
Throw a body.
What the fuck am I supposed to
Viking
do?
funeral.
Do it.
Like
And-
there's that aspect, but also like, God damn it, I put a lot of work into that.
So,
As his body burns somewhere far away, he's just like, "Oh, weird! I feel
Oh,
lighter all of a
oh
sudden."
God,
That tickled. So, huh.
I feel like a lot of
Do you
unnecessary.
feel like the sun's on your skin and you're like getting a sunburn when it's like the middle of the night? Like,
Just goes,
what?
I feel like a lot of loose ends just got tied up. Like a lot of really nasty magic.
Thank God! One of his eyes like winks at him and he goes, "No, that's not okay."
So that is done. You guys can. I'm not gonna make you delete the armor. I think the armor is super cool. You can hold on to that.
Delete it.
That's getting shelved.
Yeah, delete it.
Brother.
And Leo, you have the ring and the coin. Your shawl zips off. You fly away. Some of the suffering people say
Also, Kubo's copy of the sending stone. Take that with you.
that's a good call.
You should repeat that because that was really cool for Leo.
The sending stone.
The thing about what people see when.
Oh yeah. As Leo flies away, people swear they saw death fly that day.
Ooh.
Oh damn. Oh, here's my pup. And that's what it is when it sparks out. It's spikes out. It's like, and then I fly off.
Now Sherline was speaking with death.
You fly across, and it's kind of funny because so much of your process here seems so silly now. You walked for 3 days. You beat the snot out of a train conductor guy to get directions, and now you're literally flying the same distance in a third of the time. Just
Love that for you.
you can see kind of, the ripples of this major event throughout Remalin as you're running along. Yeah. And you fly and finally get to Courage. And this has only been like 2 days tops since this has happened. And you see that like the black sea that was over the coast is gone. And you can see that like there are carriages going into the city more than there were before, but there hasn't been enough time for it to like recover. There's just like the news is getting out that like the ocean no longer wants to kill everyone. And so slowly people are leaking back into the city as you get there. And you see several different ships off the coastline, and the barge that you came in has come back. We'll simplify things. You go back to the barge. You see that Odina and all of these people are here, Fluellen and Adlaria, and they
Oh, word? Oh.
land onto the ship. They left, several days before you.
Oh.
Have they gotten the messenger yet, out of curiosity, or just?
What did the messenger say? I want to make sure.
Oh God, now I don't remember. Brief description of
Bob's your uncle.
events and an attempt to recall anyone. Well, them, I guess. I guess with him showing up there, potentially it has more weight. But I mean, that's what Kyle threw out.
So we'll say, so basically you told them to wait for you guys to come. Is that?
No, I told him, we killed the Farah family. We'd killed Lord Vaucheline. We had control of the surrounding area around the Iagran Mountain, and Kubo died. Join us for further briefing.
Okay, so we'll say that you come to the boat, and basically when you get there, the scientists there, the kobold that is still fully in charge of the scientist team here, says basically that you just missed them and that they were just gotten back onto the land to travel back toward the Yagra Mountain. We'll say we're not going to take too long on this. You're able to easily reconnect with them and talk with them, and you see that Odina, Fluellen, and Adlaria are basically traveling back toward the area. I think that was it, wasn't it?
What?
Fluellen, Adlaria.
Oh, did B stay with Kyle?
B is still with Kyle. B is still.
I don't know anything else. That's just.
And so they reconnect with you, and they see you come down and fly down. They go, what do we do? We're traveling back. This is Odina. Do we go travel back? Do we go back to Sheen City? What are we supposed to do here, Leo?
Sheen City. Pronto. On the quadruple.
All right. Okay, they turn back around. They join you back. They get back to the boat, and you guys start traveling to Sheen City.
Wait, they're all coming with me too? Wait.
Are you gonna follow that, or?
I think what Jacob was trying to say, Josh, was like you said like Sheen City, like you're gonna go back, and so they go, oh okay, like they're going to Remalin again, basically.
Oh, I was telling. Oh, it was for me to tell where they to go. Like where them to. Oh, I thought you were from myself. I was like, oh,
Kyle
I
has told them to go back, but there's nothing for them back there outside of Kyle. And so if he sent you here, they're basically looking to you for insight on what you're going to be doing here.
Oh, for me, I'm going to Sheen City, but you guys can, I think, support Kyle's group, or stay here, or half of you can stay here.
Odina and Fluellen are fully like, nah, nope. And they go back to the ship.
Yeah, it makes more sense for them to go after Kubo.
Yeah.
But I don't know where Kubo is.
That's okay.
Odina's like, he's dead, right? Right? That's what the messenger said. He's dead.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna head to Sheen City, guys. It's so sad. It's so sad. Yeah, Kubo's dead. Yeah. All right.
So Odina and Fluellen will go with Leo back, and so you guys are on the timer back. You've got a month to get back to Sheen City, and that's going to be kind of what's going on there. I think now is a good time to cut back to Kyle, and we kind of see what happens in his story prior to whatever happens. Honestly, if you are legitimately like, it makes more sense for Kyle to become different, and you want to consider a whole different character for this arc, I mean, that's something we can talk about, but I mean, I think we'll just follow this thread and see where it goes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd rather play it out.
Yeah. So we'll cut right back to where Leo left, and B, who was holding the remainder of Kubo's body, because I'm just gonna take care of this. It kind of starts walking out. There's plenty of places where bodies are being burned, where there's lots of dead bodies. So she's going to take care of that. You are left alone in the war room. What's going through Kyle's head? What's happening?
I mean, as always with him, a lot of guilt over how things have all played out. He's on one hand, he likes the idea. I mean, when it comes to the larger overarching thing, I'm like, yeah, he's in favor of the taking more power away from Helios and returning it to the mortals, but he is super concerned about the agendas of the people involved in the court, of which he knows almost literally nothing. His first priority is to try and save as many people from the interior of the mountain as he can, because I mean, I don't know what the geography of the mountain is like, but what happened could be something where, oh, the air is poisonous for a few weeks, all the way to, oh, the air is literally irradiated for the next 1,000 years. Fucking leave. And Kyle has no idea where it falls on that scale. But I think he would know enough to at least be aware of the range of possibilities. I mean, he he doesn't know what his next move should be. He doesn't want to let the Vaucheline army out from under his thumb until he has a better idea of who they are, what they want, what their goals are. Because I mean, for all he knows, they're going to start immediately like ravaging the countryside like a bunch of Viking raiders the second they don't have a hand 2 inches from their leash. So that's what he's thinking.
Gotcha. You're pacing about the war room, kind of thinking through all these things, and as the reality for him, although it makes for not a great story, there aren't a lot of good answers. There is, this is a really messy situation. I think the insight that you get through thinking this over is that I'm going to give you, roll me an insight check so I can talk about this other thing, and I'll see what you know about this. But the oh wow, nat 20.
Slay.
I can see the future.
So here's the thing that you get from this. Your involvement may make a difference in saving some lives. It will not save all of them, and it will not. You're not gonna fix Torellen by being here. You might make a lot of steps in that direction, even if you spend the rest of your life here. But that is something that is a lifelong goal, and you could really start a brand new age for Torellen if that's really what you wanted to do. The thing that you get with the Nat 20, the generals that used you as an opportunity to recontrol their arms, they already have a second plan. There is already a Sioux Vaucheline that they have from like deep in the mainland that they're already having shipped out that wasn't slaughtered in the whole thing because that was all in the Niagara Mountain. And so there's this like the generals, unless you make a lot of really big risky moves and kill a lot of people now, you cannot keep control of this army. It is you would need to kill several key generals very quickly. I'm not saying that's not a thing you could do, but it's a commitment to that end. And so with an insight of Nat 20, up to 24, there's this real crossroads. Does Kyle want to sink his ship, as it were, and be really committed to fixing Vaucheline, or fixing, the Vaucheline nation and fixing Torellen, or does he want to tackle these larger questions about larger questions about like divinity and what's happening with the court and what's happening with, this is a real crossroads. And I'm going to say, just so you know, Kyle's involvement as a character kind of depends on you not hanging out in Torellen.
Right. I know. Yeah. I get that. Which is part of why I pushed you to have Adlyria keep coming back. So
Oh yeah, there is Everon Argentus.
I don't know. This is deep, guys. We're hitting some deep chords.
Kyle's gonna he's gonna go to sleep for the night, and when roughly would Adlyria be there?
I'd say it's another two days. She's able to get on the train.
Okay. He is going to convene a member of all of the high staff on the third day at noon. And in the meantime, he's going to utilize all the resources he can gather of the army in an attempt to make the totally not Hulkbuster suit more energy efficient.
Gotcha. So I want you to roll me a flat intelligence check for that. I want you to roll persuasion checks. Give me 3 of those, and we'll say that on the morning of the 3rd day, Adlaria arrives. She looks much better. She's gotten some time outside of the box, some food. She has enjoyed being free, and she has made the trip back. And we'll say that you're able to meet with her the morning of before the summit.
Okay.
Let me see what all these checks are.
Do you want me to do more than one for the int? 2 days or actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and since there's actually it's actually specifically stated there's 2 days. All right, so there's 19 for the first day.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're doing. Is this your
I do.
intelligence check?
And 20 for the second day. Yes, these are intelligence checks utilizing all of my luck points for the day.
Dang.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I know if I know.
Yeah, if you know that's happening, yeah, use them.
Yeah, sorry.
So with the persuasion check, with the 18, you feel like the generals are just happy for the breath of fresh air. And you can tell that your relationship with them is temporary, but they are happy for this question of legitimacy doesn't need to be answered. We can just help people and, you know, control this through being the only people who are able to help. And a lot of these rebel forces just kind of disappear overnight, not out of because they don't want to fight, but out of everybody's dying. There's nothing to fight over anymore. Like there's not an Niagara Mountain to fight.
Yeah, well, there's nothing to free. Like, no, they're just kind of running.
Yeah,
digging out of rubble.
So with that persuasion, you're safe. Nobody tries to assassinate you at night. They can tell you're not, and they kind of look at your attempts to make this Hulkbuster suit as like a cute diversion that makes you less obnoxious or less likely to give them orders they have to worry about. Adlaria arrives in that morning, and she's as beautiful as the day you left her. She has come back, and it's one of these things where she doesn't want to admit that she's come back for you, but there's no other reason on earth that she would have, especially without Odina and Llewellyn being here.
You know, I mean, most of the gold is still actually in the mountain. I can actually, you know, like draw it out if you want to go get some. I assume that's why you're here.
Oh yeah, that's why I came back. Some dwarvish gold, some fucky dwarvish gold. No,
Dig a hole.
Kyle, I'm back for you. Want to make sure that you're okay.
Nobody shot me yet. Too many times.
She kind of has this like weird resignation to this. She kind of looks around. This is like,
is B just in the corner offering?
B is definitely like this weird.
He's still here.
I shouldn't be.
But Adlaria kind of, Kyle, I don't know what your plan is, but I think you've made it pretty clear that whatever you're going to do is going to be successful. And I'm not going to lie, Senator Boren was willing to pay me a lot of money to keep you under control when you got back to Sheen City. But if you don't go back to Sheen City...
When did that happen?
When did that happen?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
This is a really tense moment.
Oh man, I can imagine the anger.
So she explains, and this is also kind of the DM pulling out, you know, stuff, that she was not aware that Senator Boren's plan was to have her kidnapped by the Torellan dwarves. But prior to that, Senator Boren had basically told her that if you can make Kyle not destroy another skyrise in my city again, I will have you on the payroll as a pension for the rest of your natural life. And so that's what she thought, like, oh, well, now I have a reason to kind of do what I was already working up to do, which was eventually just be with Kyle. And now I get paid to do it. Perfect. But then she got kidnapped and it's kind of become this whole thing. But it's revealed that she wasn't part of the arrangement, but Borin did basically sell her to the Torellan dwarves as leverage. And so she's like, I assume the deal still stands. So if we want to go back to Sheen City and live on a nice retainer in the city for the rest of our days, I think you're pretty amenable to being controlled. But it sounds like, she's kind of looking to all these, big tapestries and everything. You've got a pretty nice thing going here.
Well, I mean, it's not like I'm necessarily bound here. My situation is precarious and honestly would only be stronger by a larger, drawn-out civil war, which will happen, whether I'm here or not, honestly.
I sense that as well. Even in Porridge, I sense that there's this distaste for the area. I think that once you realize that you'll do something for money and you continue to do it even without the money is involved, it means you just want to do it. So I want to stay wherever you are, Kyle. Okay? Is that what you want to hear? She turns to be like angry. Stop looking at me.
I can always use your please.
Yeah, B leaves.
I love this.
Continue, please.
I could always use your assistance. And I think you're right. We, at least for now, we should go back to Remalin. We have some bigger fish to fry, and these, this is going to drag on for years, one way or another, and we can come back whenever. But I think with your help, we can maybe argue out some extra aid and an honor guard as we leave. And of course, leave in style. I, assume there's at least a few clothing stores that we can just go in and rob real quick before we bail. But
that is a good date night. There's kind of this sweet, you guys are both older in a way, and so I think if you were younger, there'd be this sweet hug and kiss and everything. And she just gently squeezes your hand as you guys are kind of sitting together talking through this.
This is really sweet. What the fuck?
So you guys talk through this. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for it just because I think it's a pretty easy ask. When you go to the generals and like, can we have an honor guard to escort us back to Remalin in a ship? They're like, oh hell yes, we don't have to kill the guy. He'll just go.
It is gonna be pretty heavily shaded in the we intend to return, and he's laying groundwork as he's doing it. And if you want me to do a persuasion check to see how or deception or something like that, to see how effective I am, that's fine.
With advantage, because you have the help action from Malaria.
Which one?
The persuasion. And this is just going to be a persuasion to basically the head general. This is the person that, if this was to pull a crossing the Rubicon, would be king, basically.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use my flash of genius on this as well.
Sounds good.
So, wait, I forgot to do advantage. So a total of 26.
This man has got this. Yes, he can. This man has got this beautiful beard. It's descends really far. He's got like trinkets woven into
Oh,
it.
damn.
Got deep set eyes, like kind of like that Cro-Magnon forehead, like shaggy graying hair. And you guys kind of give your pitch about like, I intend to return and assist in recovering this thing. And this guy gives you this firm handshake. And we don't have to role play all of it, but I think the thing that you get from this is, in a world full of really, really shitty nobles and generals, you found a man with honor. And this is a guy that wants to do the best thing for the nation that he lives in, and has kind of always wanted to, despite the nation around him. And so I think there's this moment of like, yeah, you'll be back, and we aren't going to fight when you do, and like there's going to be a collaborative conversation here. Who knows how long that will last? No promises that you come back and it's all good. But you have confidence that this is a guy that will do what's best for the people in Remalin.
Damn. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I kind of need to give him a name, and I'll write this down. Let me see. I keep doing like the same name with like a different letter, and I need to start.
It's like a fantasy name.
It's
generator.
getting comedic. Yeah, let me see. I'm gonna do a fantasy.
Well, I mean, look at me. I take Kyle and let me just add a bunch of syllables to it and say "fuck you guys."
All of our names like Makio or something like that.
Honestly, when I saw the last name,
Let's.
when I saw the last name Bauschlein,
My name is Leopold.
Leopold. Yeah. When
That's
I saw
my
the
name.
last name Bauschlein, I was like, we're not gonna say that much.
I do intentionally make the last names usually kind of hard to pronounce. 1, so I don't have to say them. 2, so I don't have to remember them. And 3, so the DM won't have to say or remember them because they just won't want to.
The good news is that you did
This is
it.
great. His name is General Snout.
Period.
Snout. So,
cute. I love it.
you give this man a great handshake. Now, one thing I want to call, this is kind of but you reminded me of this, Leo. Originally, you went by Leo Akami because your parentage was secret, even though technically your name was Leopold Ayala Dorn, your father being Ayala, your mother being Dorn, which are the famous summoner names. Would Leo have any contention about being known by his actual name now? Would you just be like, Queen Slay, I am fully my parent, you know what I mean? Like I'm using my original name, or would you still be going by Akami?
Queen Slay, I is me, Akami.
Okay.
Love that for you.
Cool. The Leopold Akami.
I is me. I new beginning.
Love that for you.
So I think what I was saying is that you could go by Ayala Dorn, which would be the huge
Yeah, public name.
yeah. Or you can keep
no.
by Akami and just because you like it better.
Oh no, I like to dirt and rise up.
Okay, I'm still confused. So we're Akami, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All three. No, just
Yeah, just like Akami. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So
That's a lot of words, but what?
So now you and Adlaria begin your long travel back.
Yes, what do we have honor guard wise?
I'm gonna say that you guys have you guys are given a carriage. You guys also have, we'll say, 4 very competent soldiers. These are like basically a step beneath like special operatives kind of a thing. Like very capable. We'll say like in the context of an army, being anything higher than like level 3 is a battle master.
Right, yeah, no, I mean they're like like shock troopers sort of thing.
Yeah. That's a good parallel. And you guys are able to travel back. I don't want to cheapen your relationship with Adlaria by saying like, oh, it's all sexual or it's not, or it's cute, or you know what I mean? But it is exactly what it's always meant to be. We'll leave it at that. Is that yeah. And you travel back, and you guys are given this beautiful ship. It is a sailing ship. This has large, sails, and you guys are able to begin your process back. I'm gonna say you guys are only like maybe a week behind Leo.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you guys start traveling. You guys are gonna get there near that. We only got about 30 minutes.
And of course, all of his time over all of this is continually spent improving the Hulkbuster suit.
Yes, and with the scientists, and the scientists are like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" They are like, "This is not what we." The kobold loves it. All the other elves are like, "This is blasphemy," as you've taken apart one of the ancient warforged of the nation. We cut back to Remalin as you are flying through the countryside, and you see Camille, was that her name?
I don't know.
Dorothy's mother.
Bee's with me, right?
Bee's with you guys.
Bee's still with you.
I just want to make sure.
Oh, you guys are fucking. She's like in a part of the ship where she
Oh my God.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
Just want to make sure. Like,
Bee is the awkward third wheel this
she's the
entire
adopted
time.
child.
that's what happens. That's what she gets for being half of a player character. Like,
It's true. It's true.
She's her own thing.
We'll shuffle her into the background.
0.3 PCs. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You fly back and you see Callie's house from a perspective you've never seen it before, flying. You've been flying for maybe 2 days because you flew a wide distance. You are not just like outside of town. Because you can fly much faster. So you get to the building and you see that it's this beautiful farmhouse. Oh yeah, you didn't miss a ton. And it's wonderful and nice. And
I think that Kubo is personally incredibly anxious. I think that was a weird thing because I think that when he was younger, he would have been like, I guess when you die, you don't feel things anymore. You're just a thing in the grand scheme of the universe. And then he's like, no, I'm incredible. I want to throw up, but I also still hungry. But I also would say in the past 2 days, then since he's just been like kind of flying, I think he was surprised to see he's thought over how he died kind of over and over again. And he was expecting to be like traumatized by it or not be able to like do it. But instead, I guess the lens of death, that sounds so weird, and like his new whatever sort of being, it's allowed him to look at it kind of impartially, believe it or not. And he's still incredibly angry, those sort of things. But he's decided that he's going to compartmentalize this. And he knows he has to, he's going to get some answers. That's what he's here for. But he also feels the sense of like, I one day hope that I can, I don't know, figure out if this was all really worth it, especially because I think he does have that sense of urgency also from being, he just says that Jokiel is potentially being tortured, sort of a thing. And he made her a promise. And it's about her and him and a lot of other people, but specifically the two of them are like tied to potentially being tormented for the rest of eternity, depending on how this works out. So he's very like, oh, gotta get there, like ragged almost from trying to fly as fast as he can.
so you fly in. Nobody seems to register that you've arrived for a chunk.
Is there like any
You just
cars?
get to the door. Yeah, there are 2 or 3 cars you recognize from your time in the city.
Kubo lands, and I think this is totally fair. As you guys set me up, I'm wearing a wife beater, some probably like longish shorts, and like a flannel shirt.
Like a nice,
thing.
nice
It's
jacket.
long,
Yeah.
but yeah, and sandals. And I'm just like, okay, so what? Okay, we're just gonna.
Are you disguising your appearance, or are you just full angel?
I think he thinks he's disguised, but he's not, because he's so anxious. He's wrapped up in his head.
Yeah.
He's trying to think like, okay, so I want to beat the shit out of my dad, but do I just lead in with that? Like, how do we best do that? And so he kind of takes a deep breath and he's readying. He already has a certain spell ready, but I'm saying that so that depending on who's in the house when he comes in, it might just be like a reaction, if that's okay.
Yeah. I will say another thing that you recognize as you've been traveling. As you're traveling, you realize that your wounds are actually starting to heal. Some of your wounds that you got from flying down.
I can't put my hand on myself anymore. Funny. Licks the blood off his hand. Anyways.
You get there. Do you just knock on the door?
I think Kubo has a lot of thoughts in his head. Honestly, to be real with everyone, I think he understands that out of all the possibilities, he's desperately wishing and hoping that his dad is not here yet. and he wants to he's hoping that maybe it's just Ariana or even just Callie. But I don't think so. I actually just think he's gonna be like, well, knock knock, and kind of open the door to come in.
As you open the door, you see Callie looks extremely tired, or Callie looks tired. Ariana looks extremely tired, and you see Ariana's like lounging on a bed with like an ice pack on her head. And you see that Callie, kind of comes open and opens the door, and he's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Callie?
Yeah, you just opened my door.
Well, my mother's right there. Ariana is here, guys.
Ariana kind of sits up and like, I guess your voice sounds roughly the same from before.
What do you mean? Oh God! Because the eyes. He realizes the eyes. He kind of like shakes, kind of like a dog would, and I feel like that's how he's figured a way to like make himself look normal. I mean, to be fair, the only difference is that he has extra eyes, but whatever. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, sorry about that. Hi, mom. Hi, guys.
Ariana kind of stands up and walks over to you and puts her hand on your shoulder. You died, haven't you? She kind of wraps you up in a really warm hug and just buries her head on your shoulder.
He starts to cry. He's like, no, I really love this. I really love this. I have to talk to Dad right now. Is Dad here? Is Dad here?
He's out in the back. He's out in the barn.
Okay, you guys don't come out back, okay? And then the moment is gone, and he suddenly like his wings kind of runs back up and his eyes open, and he kind of just like again. I want to say that in regards to that spell being ready, he does have his swords out too.
You got your one sword that.
Lovely to see you again, Callie. I'm so sorry for this rudeness. I'll be back.
Ariana fully watches from the back porch. She's just furious. Callie, you see that Dorothy like peers out from a window, and then you see Callie grab her and pull her away from the window.
Like, oh, fuck.
As you are walking up to this thing, you hear like big hunks of metal moving. Basically, you hear like the equivalent of like what sounds like a factory happening. Like a little like kind of over and over again. And you don't hear anything else as you walk up to this building.
Some of Kubo's nature has changed. I think that in the past he would be a bit more cautious or like afraid, but honestly, for whatever reason, seeing his mom cry has really just connected him back with like his central being again. And he's just like, well, and he goes, oh, he just is like, Peregrine, and he kicks in the barn door.
You kick in the barn door, flies off its hinges, flies across the room. You are a much stronger person now, and you see that your father is on the ground on his back on like the cement ground, and he is currently bench pressing like 3 smashed cars.
What the fuck?
His arms are ridiculous. He is cut. He fully like entered his muscle building phase. As you walk in, he goes, Kubo, my boy! He hunks the thing, it fully smashes through like another section of the area. You can see that he has been pumping iron in here. He walks up, he has enormous pecs, giant delts, like, and they see like all the eyes and stuff over him. He goes, my boy, I feel amazing. It's so good to see you. Grudge. He runs up and does the other hug you.
No, I don't have time to say no. I just immediately Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark.
I think Kubo's funny goes, whoa! And then the moment he does, it's like this red sort of energy just hits his dad. Unless he passes it, I have no idea.
Divine, powerful magic. No, there's no save for Hunter's Mark.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't. You're right.
That's true. Yeah, no, there's not.
Quirky.
That's you taking aim functionally. That they don't get a save against you aiming at them.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That makes my life a little bit easier now. I think that he does that, and then I think honestly, there's kind of like, let's just start fighting. You want me to roll initiative?
Yeah. You can roll initiative. I'll roll initiative.
I am taken aback that I opened the door and he's fucking a gym bro. Like now, what is going on? But I only got a 15.
He seems to be in front of you. You see him taking the dodge action as you're ready to attack him. He goes, okay, buddy. Okay, calm down. Everything's fine.
Let's see if I actually hit him.
This is with disadvantage.
It's with disadvantage?
Yeah, because he took the dodge
you're right.
action.
Never mind. I only got 11.
So,
I go to swing it.
I would like to point out that utilizing the actual, 5e rules for strength That gives him a strength score of 167.
So, lifting 3 cars.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
interesting.
Well, using Model Ts specifically for the car, which I think is most accurate considering the time frame.
So I
Well,
that
does
happened.
I just want to say that just because.
Keep going for okay. So yeah, and I go, it's not fucking fine, and I slash the air.
Yeah, he easily dances away. Kid, everything's fine. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry it had to happen like it did. He continues to take the dodge action, so you're just going to be continuing to
Are you
roll with
fucking kidding me?
disadvantage.
Fine, I don't hit him again.
You're
Okay.
flailing. He's. You can see that some of his wounds have started to heal up as well. He's like dodging around. He's like, "Oh, hey, buddy, hey, let's calm down. Get it out of your system. Do you want to hit me? Do you want to hit me?" He stops taking the dodge action. He stands still and basically like goes prone so you can hit him.
With anything? Like, what's his AC?
You haven't hit him yet. I've been watching.
Okay, so
stuff.
I didn't hit him that time either. That's fair.
You're not really raising. Yeah, roll one more time.
Okay. There's almost something like that cheapens it actually. He's like, go ahead and hit me, Kubo. God, I'm rolling.
We'll say
oh,
with
I'm
that
only rolling
18.
initiative. Can I actually do those?
Yeah,
Oh
if
my
it was at
God.
the 7, you'd be fine.
How about that?
So yeah,
Jesus.
you hit there. You gash into him. You see him kind of wince. He goes, "Ooh, haven't felt one of those for a long time, oh, buddy."
Okay, but I do get to not do this. I'm so sorry.
Are you just
Okay.
hacking at him? Yeah.
Oh no, I have to add in my damage. So it's at least 12 right there. But because yeah, wow.
For the beauty of like kind of the narrative, you cut into his shoulder and the blade kind of sinks in a good like in 2 inches, and he grabs the blade and he grabs your hand and he goes, Kubo, I'm here. Kubo, I'm here. It's okay.
Finally are!
Okay.
Doesn't matter anymore! And then you go to hit him.
You're just
again.
gonna punch him in the face.
Yeah, do you want me to?
Yeah. Just roll a 2 hit. We're in story mode. I'm not gonna
Okay.
hold you stuff.
He hits him.
You just palm, hit him in the face, and he goes, okay. He takes the sword out, fires it. Okay, stop it.
Like you mean you told Savage to stop trying? Is that it?
I was hoping Savage wouldn't die doing what he had to do. It's a bummer he's in hell.
You have to do. I want to fight him again. I'm just trying to. We can for sake of time.
Just keep talking,
He's just
and we're just gonna assume that this is. I mean, picture the paint thing however you want to be, but it is them fighting in a way that is slowly destroying.
If this saves time too, because I know Leos, I do try to fire off some Banes and some.
Yeah, you cast tons of stuff.
One time when he tries to whatever, I try to Misty Step and using my new ability where I'm an what's it called?
Yeah, you Misty step behind him, hit him from a different
I use
angle.
Relentless Avenger to chase him down so he can't leave a burn or something. We're just tussling. Said the least. I think Kubo does start to cry though, and I think it's like angry tears, and he's just like, "You just used us. We're useless, and now Jophiel is going to be tortured for all of eternity if we don't stop Helios, and so am I, and I have no idea where the fuck Leo and Kyle are. My girlfriend thinks I'm probably dead."
Jophiel was already suffering for all of eternity,
No,
Kubo.
what the fuck?
She is supposed to be a god, Kubo. She was never just a quaint little angel.
Well, she's the one, but it's to make it sense. I wasn't doing this for you. It was for her. Just to make that clear, 1,000,000% clear. This was not for you.
You're killing me for Jophiel. You punch him again. He goes, fuck!
I spent my life trying to make you proud and happy. You betrayed me every fucking time.
And you have.
Once again.
Kubo, you're the son of a god.
Does Mom even know that Savage is dead?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, does she happen to know why he's dead?
She knows what she needs to know.
Oh my god!
Kubo.
I'm
You keep punching
You're a
him.
god? What are you, the god of being a shitty dad?
Chance, Kubo. Wanton chance. The roll of a die, the flip of a card. You punch him again. God
Oh,
fucking
so let
damn
me
it.
guess. By the chances, I just got a really shitty narcissistic dad. That's really fucking cool.
He goes to try and grip you and misses entirely. He does his first attack to try and grip you, and you're able to evade him entirely. He goes, Kubo, this is beyond what your understanding was before now.
I know. I
And
get it.
now you can understand.
Does
Do
it
you
go okay?
see this? He flexes, and it is beefy. It is I couldn't do this before. I couldn't get more powerful. Helios had taken that from us. Had
I
taken that
understand that. I
from
get that.
everyone.
But that is like the most disgusting and disrespectful shit I've ever seen. Oh my God.
What? It's bad to be muscly. It's bad to be muscly. Okay.
Oh my God! That's some more. We can keep going with talking.
Hey. The laws of reality are not more important than our gains, okay?
Then it's a hard truth to swallow, but no, the law. Love that for him, but I mean, fuck, I don't even know like how the other stuff. Listen, okay, fine.
Kubo,
Fine.
I get that you're emotionally figured
Why
out.
can't I fucking kill you?
You keep punching him. You're just like hitting him, hacking into him with a sword.
I made a blood pool and I was really proud of it, but it wasn't like yours. Mine was blue. And gets punched in the face.
Yeah, punching him again. He is bruised, and there's this weird moment where it's like,
Have him roll. Have him roll to hit me.
yeah, he rolled to hit you once.
That would like to reach me or something.
So like on a persuasion.
Yeah. Do it.
That was a 19. We'll say that +7 is pretty standard for what I picture for where he's at right now. So he's got a 26
Okay.
here.
Fine. I stopped fighting because
but
maybe I am a little tired.
What he
and I
says
don't
on the
think I'm
persuasion is, I want you to feel better about this, Kubo. I want you to feel better about what happened and how it happened. But we're not done. We still got to get Helios off his throne. Sure, the court's out of session. Jofio's getting tortured. That doesn't stop until somebody combats and gets up to Helios level. Now we can do that, but we still have to do that. And once that's done, we can bicker, we can argue, we can fight in heaven for eons for fun. We can keep sparring until both of us are blue in the face. But first, we got to make sure that court just doesn't go back right into session and undo all this work we've done.
Could Savage and Feral come back as things are? I was thrown. Did I get thrown up?
As things are right now,
I was tossed down.
a powerful enough demon or angel could go anywhere the hell they want.
So a little bit. I just think that you need to make an apology to him at the least.
He punches you again. he finally starts to return. Ha! Caught you lacking. You guys continue. It turns into like another training montage.
Anyways, I think as they're talking and fighting some more, Kubo is just like, whatever. You know what? I want to fucking do this right, and I want to do like what we agreed with Jofio, which is to stop Helios and get the power back of the gods. I understand that means a lot more. But if it's not just you, who the fuck, like, who are the other gods then other than you and Jofio? Where are they?
Too many to mention, Kubo. There are
Fuck
some.
you.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, great.
I need answers, old man, because listen, our relationship is going to change a bit here. So you're my dad, and if you want to work towards similar goals as we want to, incredible. However, like I get that might mean I have to maybe work with you, but I don't really trust you. So I just need to understand, like, how does this now work? Like, how do we get the other gods or figure out if they're on our side or not? How do we do this?
I'm gonna flex on you as the DM, and I'm also gonna flex as Peregrine. Peregrine kind of just says, "Well, we get stronger, Kubo." You see him walk into the center of this barn, and there's like this central big thick support beam. You see that he grabs the support beam with one hand, plunges his fingers into the wood as if he's like picking up like a pumpkin and just driving his fingers into it. He takes his other hand and punches out the bottom of the support beam and lifts the remainder of the barn up over you guys with one arm and tosses it to the side so that you guys are now like out in the open.
That was
The
Callie's
barn is
fucking barn.
You don't think I ain't get her another barn?
Well, what I
Kubo.
do think is that you've done a lot of flexing at me. But what the fuck does that have to do with magic and things if you're a god? How the fuck is that?
To continue to argue. Now that there's no, like the sun is starting to set, you can see that Ariana is looking out, and she still has like that ice pack on her head, and she just kind of looks out boredly, kind of at you too.
God, it's like I'm a child again. Fuck, listen, both of you. God damn it. Fuck. I don't know, maybe I was gonna kill you when I got here. I get that you're like Gaines and swole. God damn you. I wanna.
Kubo, you're right to be mad. Kubo, you're right to be mad.
Right.
If it wasn't such an incredible moment, if I wasn't so happy that you stopped the vote and that now we can regain our dignity as mortals, as gods, as angels that was stolen by Helios in his grip for power. I would be sad. I would mourn your death. We would mourn your death, but you're here now, Kubo.
I'm still grappling with some of this. Okay, anyways, I understand what you're saying. Again, so again, what's the plan then? Or if you want to pitch it to me again, cool. I'm pissed and I actually want to go see Deza. And I want to figure out how to call my girlfriend. How long have I been out?
Ariana like yells like it's Thursday. It's like
but what's the day? Oh my god!
And it's pretty clear that you've been out for about 2 weeks total now.
So they should be coming back soon.
Yeah, they'll probably be back in 2 weeks or so.
That's what Kubo says.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and we could get somebody with sending. Heck, man, we could do a whole. Now that magic isn't capped like it has been, I could give you a full like scry connection where you guys could see and talk and like.
I don't know. Okay, this has been a lot of emotions and feelings. I've only eaten corn in the past.
Let's get my boy some barbecue.
Talk to me. Oh my god. How about that? I would love to stay. I would love to take some of Pharaoh's clothes. That's my right from the attic because I hate looking like this. And we can go from there. But that doesn't mean that I agree with you or that I'm working with you necessarily. Or maybe I am. But I want to go see Deza. And oh my god, how is this casinos?
So the 3 casinos are doing
There
great.
I really like you hammering the point home on the number there. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So so you guys go back in. You guys get some food, and we're gonna process through more of this information as you go.
That's fine. We can. Yeah. That's really interesting. I'm gonna admit out loud that did not go how I thought it would go. For a lot of reasons, I can't believe he's been Mr. Incredible. Like, Jesus Christ.
So we're gonna cut back to Leo actually on his way back to so Leo, you're on this boat with the scientists, or no, actually, you would go back on a different boat, Kyle. So you don't have access to the same scientists, but you're tinkering on your ship. That's all good. But Leo, you're traveling back. What would Leo be using his time for?
Well, I'm stranded on a boat. Well, I'm switching creatures, and I now have an aqua-based scarf going on situation. But other than that, pretty chilly. This would just be a nice vacation, peace and quiet. No crazy Kyle bothering me. And it'd be nice.
So I wanna illustrate something kind of with a lore dump for you. The ball that we've described as being squished. This is the planes. These are the planes and how they work in the grand sphere of existence. If you were to say that the material plane was the center of this orb, then that would make sense. Heaven and hell, which are normally very distant, like all planes, were squished together, which pushed out some of these more mundane planes, which in this case would be the elemental plane of fire, the elemental plane of water, these different lesser planes that aren't aligned with any morality or aligned with lawful.
As a point of clarification, does that include like Mechanus and Limbo?
Limbo is a little different of a story. Limbo is usually an outlier, but yes, for all purposes, if you guys want to talk about these different planes that are, connected, then feel free. But what I want to really impress upon you, Leo, is you have access to these planes now. As a summoner, you have access to these extra planar places, like the elemental plane of water and these things. They are extremely neutral. They are very uninterested in stuff that's going on in the material realm. And that's just something I want to state there is you guys have been gone for centuries. They kind of didn't notice or care. They're fixtures of nature. They're like, the concept of physics.
Oh no, there wasn't a volcano for a few hundred years. We literally didn't notice.
Yeah, no, perfect example.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to offer for you on your pause here is eidolons, is just the word eidolons, and that these were gods that are a strange subsect of divinity. And they are things that have not been in the picture for a long time, but they are now theoretically as this ball unsprings. Anything else you'd like to ask me, Josh, or want to do on this trip?
Not I can think of.
Like,
No, nothing I
You
could
can
think
do
of.
drugs if you want. I mean, I'm not using them.
I mean, of course, it's my vacation on a boat.
Hey!
You go looking for drugs, and you see that Odina has fully snorted a bunch of cocaine.
Yay, drugs!
And as you walk
quick
up, he
month.
goes like, "You want to fix? Is that why?"
Yes.
Kubo, your girlfriend is pretty cool.
I know it.
With Odina, Leo, you do a Kubo with cocaine. You do Kubo with Odina. No, you do cocaine with Odina.
You do cocaine off of
I
Kubo?
didn't know we all knew each other so well.
Wow. Last thing there, Kyle, you were traveling. You have a very, very nice sailboat. You were given this kind of area to work in, and you still have your honor guard, and they are basically going to be with you until you choose to dismiss them or you choose to have them do something other than just guard you.
Yeah.
And so they are just very, you'd think that, these upper echelons of like an army, they are all very boring European men. They are all just very standard. I mean, of course we mean Torellin, but that's what I said. Like, they're all like blonde, all straightforward, one thing, the exact, like, they're, yeah.
It's a little creepy.
Two of them have the same name, like, Joshes in the same picture. Yeah. So, but yeah, you're able to travel with us. Anything besides making the Hulkbuster suit that you want to do on the trip?
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously, yeah, no, the main thing is he's trying to make the Hulkbuster suit more efficient so he can use it more often, even if that comes at the cost of using it for shorter spans of time. But otherwise, I mean, it's him and Adleria on vacation, I guess. I don't know. He'd invite any individuals from his honor guard that Adleria liked back to the room, I guess. Other than that, meh.
Gotcha. So, everybody gets a well-earned vacation. They all get to spend time away from each other. You get to hang out with Dorothy / your father as much as you want to.
We need to
Right. I think that Kubo would kind of get some closure with his mom. I'm sure there's tears. I'm sure she's kind of angry. I do think that he would break the news to her that Savage also died, and he doesn't know when or if he can come back yet. And then he leaves that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he necessarily.
It would require a full-on true resurrection. Kyle was pissed enough at Kubo's death. His head is gone.
No, that's fine. I was somewhat assuming that he might have gone down, if you know what I'm saying.
I want to. Yeah, no,
I don't know. Never mind. But yeah, I'm sure that she's pissed.
Nitroglycerin powered shells in the face. There's not much left.
That also, just for time so everyone else can talk, sorry. I think Kubo doesn't necessarily. I think that she saw the fight between him and his dad, and he doesn't feel comfortable yet explaining a lot of those feelings, but they connect. I also would say that aside from that he probably finds Daisy as soon as he can, and she's probably the first person that he really like definitely hug, like just kind of connects with after all that and processes feelings of like, I'm dead. I don't have anymore, but I just had fun. And then he starts crying from all of his eyes.
And then she's like, oh, okay.
That's what scary boxes are for.
What'd you say?
I said that's what scary boxes are for.
What?
I'm not familiar with that. Scary boxes?
The scary box, messing with Daisy mostly.
Oh,
Fine. I didn't understand. I thought you were saying that she's going to put me in a box. And I was like, please don't. Not yet, at least.
So,
Yeah.
so all of these things, everyone gets a reprieve. This is a nice breath. You know, the accomplishments from last session and last campaign have been won. They're being processed. Things are getting figured out. There's a whole new mess to deal with, but things are looking up. Everyone's traveling to the same place, and we're all going to be getting back together in Sheen City at our next session. I want to really honor Leo's time here, who was Josh's time. But what I'm going to say here is far
They're getting dressed.
up in the high echelons of heaven, the holiest of holy, the deepest corner of heaven, there is a large stone door. To call it stone would be too belittling. It is a perfect material. It is undamaged by time.
Absolute.
It is completely inert. This great, large stone, I keep calling it stone, door begins to creak open, and a blinding light shines out of it. And you see attendants that have not seen the door open for many years look over in shock as a door opens and a resplendent figure behind the light begins to walk out. We'll end our session there.
Whoa.
Leos is angry because he doesn't get any coke. I'm kidding.